So the Bible says you're going to know the truth, and the truth going to make you free from what? All the lies and all the stuff that the conquistadors and the white man has taught us, right? Because they teach us lies. They would never teach us our true nationality. That's why you don't find it in the colleges and you don't find it in the school. You don't even find it in the churches because they came and brought their religion with them also.
That's right.
All these religions right here, guess what? They were started by Esau, the white man.
Right.
And he taught us this. He beat that into us.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
So Puerto Rican means rich poor, right? Yes. Is that a nationality?
Yes.
No, that's not our nationality. That's what the conquistadors called you when they came over and conquered you. They did this to you. They conquered you and they said you was rich poor because what? You were rich in minerals. You had gold and all that stuff over there, right? So the conquistadors came and said, oh, you know what? Christopher Columbus came and conquered your people, right? And put them in slavery because a conquistador means to conquer, right? So he conquered your people and put them in slavery and called them Puerto Rico. Give me Genesis 49.
Before we rich.
Right.
After that, with poor.
Yes, definitely, because they took all your resources and your minerals, right? So they oppressed the people, right? In their own land, right? So now you're buying the water from it that was already yours. You're buying the wood, all this good stuff that you're doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Check this out, because your history's in the Bible. Let me show you a little bit of that, right? Genesis 49:22.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 22.
Read it.
Joseph is a fruitful bow.
So Joseph, right, the tribe of Ephraim is a fruitful, that goes into Joseph, which was a father of Ephraim and Manasseh. He said Joseph, which is Ephraim, is a fruitful bow. That's a tree, right? A fruitful bow, right? Read.
Even a fruitful bow by a well.
Even a fruitful bow by a well. By the well goes into water, right? It says that y'all will be a tree that is surrounded by water. Aren't y'all on the island of Puerto Rico? Surrounded by water? Right. So check this out. Keep reading.
Whose branches run over the wall.
So the branches ran over the wall, right? There's a wall that's built that the conquistador was built called the, what is it called? The La Braha. Do you know the name of that wall over there they built? It's out there. It's called La Habra, which means wall, that they built, that they would build to keep the Dutch and the French and all those other nations out from out of there. Do you know what I'm talking about, sir? Yes, Puerto Rico, right? Yeah. So Puerto Rico, we was talking to him, right? That's your dad? Right. So let me ask you a question, right? What does the word Puerto Rico mean? I asked your dad the same thing.
Rich poor.
Rich poor, right? Is that a nationality?
No.
No. What that was when the conquistadors came, right? They conquered your people, right? The tribe of Ephraim, right? Which would be the Taino Indians, right? They conquered them when they came over there, right? And when they came over there, they saw they were rich in minerals, gold and all that good stuff. And guess what? They said, Christopher Columbus said, guess what? This is a rich poor. I'm going to call these people Puerto Rican. That's not a nationality, because before you were called Puerto Rican, you were called a Taino Indian, right? So again, in the Bible, right? Check this out. In the Bible, it says that the tribe of Ephraim will be called the Puerto Ricans, right? That's who the Puerto Ricans are. That's a byword in the proverb, right? That's part of a curse, right? Give me Deuteronomy 28, because we got to give them this part too. This is something that we got to know, because we don't understand our history. We don't understand who we are. Let me ask you a question. What did the original Puerto Ricans look like?
Like you, me?
Yes, the original Puerto Ricans were black. What happened to them?
They got sold.
They got sold, and what else they got sold? Because it was going over, the branches ran over the wall. What else happened to them? They mixed with the conquistadors. Give me Hosea 7 and 8. They mixed with the conquistadors, which made them light-skinned, fair-skinned, right? Let me show you what God said in the Bible, because he prophesied this thing was going to happen, right? Read that, Hosea 7 and 8.
The book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8. Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim, which is the Puerto Ricans, have mixed himself amongst the people, right? Read.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Oh, wait a minute. He said Ephraim was a cake not turned. Think about it. A pancake. You're cooking a pancake and you don't turn it. What does it look like on the top? White on the top. What does the bottom look like?
Brown.
Right. That's what burnt. Right. It's burnt. That's why you have such a mixture over there in Puerto Rico. You got the light-skinned Puerto Ricans and the dark-skinned who don't like the dark. The light-skinned don't like the dark-skinned because they don't understand their history. They don't understand what happened to them. So we're going into the branches around the wall. The women of Ephraim went over the wall and mixed with the conquistadors. Go back to Genesis 49 so we can give them some more. Oh, I told you 28:15. I'm sorry. Listen to this, my brothers.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Moses is prophesying to all the 12 tribes of Israel. That is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said all these curses going to come upon you and overtake thee. Jump down to 37 so we can tell them part of the curses.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
He said, thou shalt become an astonishment. Astonishment is something somebody laughs at. What in the world is going on with people? How did these people go from here all the way down to here? Right? So it's astonishment. The other nations are laughing at us, right? Read.
A proverb and a byword.
A proverb would be a Puerto Rican. That's a proverb, right? A byword would be what?
And a byword.
And a byword, right? Wetback. Puerto Rican. All those are proverbs, right? But again, keep reading.
Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So among all nations, you're gonna be considered this thing, right? So jump back to Genesis 49 and verse 22. We're gonna drive on the point because I know y'all see y'all. So we're gonna drive on the point, right? Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 22. Joseph is a fruitful bow.
Joseph, which is the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh, right? He was the father of Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Ephraim was the Puerto Rican, Manasseh is the Cubans, right? Read.
Even a fruitful bow by a well.
So a fruitful bow by a well goes into a tree that is planted by a bunch of water, surrounded by a bunch of water. Puerto Rico is surrounded by a bunch of water. He's giving you the geographical location of these people, of the Puerto Rican, that tribe of Ephraim, right? Read.
Whose branches run over the wall.
So it goes into your branches ran over the wall. The sisters, the women of Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim, went over the wall and mixed with the conquistadors. We showed you what happened, right? Read.
The archers have surely grieved him.
And archers, which is the Spaniards, right? Because the Spaniards came and they took y'all and they actually transported y'all back to Spain and they taught y'all to speak what? Spanish. Think about it. Spanish. Boricua, right? Boricua is a Hebrew word. Y'all spoke Hebrew before the Spaniards came and conquered y'all and took y'all back to Spain on slave ships. Let me show you slave ships. Deuteronomy 28:68. They took y'all on slave ships back to Spain. Christopher Columbus did that. And guess what we do today? We celebrate Christopher Columbus for coming and conquering the tribe of Ephraim, the Puerto Ricans. What in the world? Is that crazy? It's crazy. You know why it's crazy? Because the astonishment goes into that too, because we don't know who we are. Guess what? We accept anything. They say, hey, celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. And we say, okay, it's a good day. We out work. We're going to have a barbecue and celebrate it. Not knowing what the history is behind it. We don't even consider that thing, right? Give me that slave ships. Deuteronomy 28:68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So Egypt, the word, let me ask you a question. Y'all know anything about the Bible, right? So when Moses brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, what were they doing in Egypt?
They were walking around.
They walked around in the wilderness for 40 years, right? But in Egypt, they were what? They were slaves.
Bring it out.
They were slaves in Egypt. Give me Exodus 20 and 2 so we can explain to them what the Egypt means. This is something that they don't teach us in school. They give us none of this. If you can go to a historical black college, you can go to any college you want to. They don't teach this, and this is Bible that they don't teach, that they took out of the schools and all this good stuff. They don't want you to know who you are, because if you know who you are, guess what you do? You start to transform, you start to change.
That's right.
You start to come together as a nation. The 12 tribes of Israel have to come together according to the scriptures as a nation, and it will happen, right? Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt is synonymous with bondage, right? So jump back to Deuteronomy 28, right? Read it from the top.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So he said the Lord shall bring you into bondage, Egypt, again, right? This will be the second time you're going into Egypt, right?
With ships.
With ships. Remember, they walked around for 40 years. They didn't have no ships that took them there. So when he said, I'm going to take you into Egypt again, it's not talking about the land of Egypt that they came out of. It's talking about a place that is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, which is America. Right? Keep reading.
By the whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So you shall see it no more again. When he took the Taino Indians away from the land of Puerto Rico, right? He took them into Spain. They didn't go back to Spain. They had no transportation to get back. Right? Unless they brought them back over there, and they did bring some of them back over there as slaves. That's how the Spanish translated over there. That's how they learned all that stuff over there. Right? Keep going.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You think when Christopher Columbus took us back to Spain that they actually let us roam free and do whatever we want to do and told us we were part of their society? No. We were sold to the Spaniards as slaves. The same thing that happened to the blacks right here. Same thing that happened to the blacks here in America, right? Because the Lord said, I'm going to scatter you throughout all the earth, right? Deuteronomy 4:27. The Lord said he's going to scatter. Say, my sister, how you doing? Oh, my sister, how you doing? You speak English? No, okay, but geek though? Yeah? Okay, let me ask you a question. What's your nationality? What's your nationality? Where you from?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. All right, my sister. So yeah, you are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. We have to get into that history about Nicaragua too. But let me ask you a question. What does Christ look like? Come here.
Brother, I gotta go.
Okay, let me ask y'all too. Before y'all go, what does Christ look like? Because y'all need to know this. Who is this guy?
God bless you, brother.
Who is this guy? Who is that right there? That's Jesus, right? Who is that right there? You don't know who that is? Give me Revelation.
He said Satan.
That's who? Which one? That's it. Satan. So check this out, my brother. Revelation, right?
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the book of Revelation is going into the revealing of Christ. It said his head and his hairs were white like wool. What kind of hair you got on your beard? White, woolly type hair, right? So it's talking about a hair on his head and a hair on his beard was white like wool, right?
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
He drank wine in moderation so the whites of his eyes turned red, right? Keep going.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Wait a minute, his feet was like unto fine brass. What color's brass? What color's brass?
Brown.
Brownish, right? My sister, brass. What color's brass?
¿Qué color es bronce?
Bronze.
El color de bronce.
Bronce?
¿Qué color es bronce? ¿Cómo?
Brownish, right? Go ahead, keep reading.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Wait a minute, my brother. He said as if they burned in a furnace. So you take white rice and you burn it in a furnace, what color turn? Who is this guy right here? It's supposed to be, right? But you said no, it's not. And you said this is Satan right here? Wait a minute. Which one looks more like Christ according to the scriptures? Hair, white like wool?
Well, that guy.
Right. The one we call Satan. This is what they have done to us. They have robbed us and stolen our history from us and actually stolen our God from us. Now they teach us that our God looks like this, which is a complete lie. A complete lie, right? So let me ask you a question because I got to drive home the point, right? What tribe did Christ come from? He was a Jew, right? Let me ask you a question. When you take the D-A-H off of this right here, what does that say? Jew, right? So Christ came from the tribe of Judah, right? Let me show you this. Hebrews 7:14, right?
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 14.
My sister, listen up, because you gotta hear this.
For it is evident that the Lord sprung out of Judah.
So it's evidence that our Lord, which is Christ, sprang out of Judah. Jeremiah 14:2. What did the Jews look like?
They're all white.
They what?
They're all white.
They're all white? You sure about that?
Oh, well, no.
Right, because we just established that Christ looked like this guy right here. And he was a black man, and of course he came from the tribe of Judah, right? Read that for me.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourning and the gangster of language.
So it's talking about the tribe of Judah, right?
They are black unto the ground.
Wait a minute, my brother, come look at this. Show him that. Jeremiah, come look at this right quick. This is in the Bible, Jeremiah 14:2.
Verse 2. Judah mourning and the gangster of language. They are black unto the ground.
Wait a minute, my brother. Right, so the original Puerto Ricans were black. Wouldn't their God look like them? Right? Why did they give us a God that looked like them? Remember, they conquered us. When they conquered us, they gave us education. They gave us all these different things, right? They even taught us another gospel. Another gospel will be another Jesus, right? Because the Jesus Christ that came did not look like this guy. He looked like this right here. So what's going on? So give me John 8:32. So what happened today, sir, is you learned your nationality, that you're from the tribe of what?
I'm from the Taino tribe.
The tribe of Ephraim, right? You're not Puerto Rican, which is Bridgeport, right? And then you learn also that Christ don't look like a white man. Christ is a black man according to the Bible, right? Right? And then he came from the tribe of Judah, which said Judah is black, right? Unto the ground, right? Read that for me.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So the Bible says you're going to know the truth, and the truth going to make you free from what? All the lies and all the stuff that the conquistadors and the white man has taught us, right? Because they teach us lies. They would never teach us our true nationality. That's why you don't find it in the colleges and you don't find it in the school. You don't even find it in the churches because they came and brought their religion with them also.
That's right.
All these religions right here, guess what? They were started by Esau, the white man.
Right.
And he taught us this. He beat that into us. You remember the movie, what was it? Toby Killed the Kente?
Yeah.
He beat that into Toby, right? He told him his name. Not only did he tell him to change his name, they changed his God and his religion and told him he got to start serving that, right? So let me ask you a question. Give me Deuteronomy 7:3, because he got to hit 7:6. Because what happens is, when you find out that you're a tribe of Israel, give me Deuteronomy 10:12 first. When you find out that you are the tribe of Israel, right, guess what you're going to have to start doing? There's a requirement of you now. Right? Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So now that you know you're Israel, a part of the 12 tribes of Israel from the tribe of Ephraim, what does the Lord thy God require from you, right? Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Right.
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
So you heard that? To keep the commandments of the Lord. Let me ask you a question. What was Saturday be called in Spanish? Sábado, right? So give me Exodus 20:8. So think about this, and I know you're anxious to go, but this is something that you're not going to learn in the school. You're not going to see it anyway. You can go. You got a flyer?
Yeah, I got it.
You go on YouTube and you can see classes that we teach on Puerto Rican, all these different nationalities, right? Of who we are, what they so-called called us, the proverbs and the bywords, right? So you can learn your history about that and what you're supposed to be doing, right? Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
So he said, remember Sabbath, which is,
No work on Saturday.
so you know that. Why are we doing this? My brother, you got a few minutes? Why are we working on the Sabbath? The store's open.
The white man.
People, right? Because he taught us who we are, right? Right? Give me Isaiah 1:3. He taught us a religion, and he taught us to break God's laws. Why do you think he taught us to break God's laws? Huh?
It was convenient for him.
It was convenient for him. Not only that, but he knew Judah 5:20. Here's what he knew. He knew something about us, that if we start keeping God's laws, guess what? Our God, the Black Messiah, Christ, will start fighting for us, right? He don't want Christ to fight for us. Why? Why you think he don't want Christ to fight for us? You think we're supposed to be on the bottom?
No.
We're supposed to be on the top, right? According to the scriptures, right? Here's what he knows. Judah 5:20. Here's what this man knows. He does a deep research on our history. He know who we are according to the Bible. That's why he came and changed everything for that, right? Judah, the book of Judah is in the Apocrypha. Judah 5:20. So he knows that if we start keeping God's laws, our Lord is going to fight for us. He going to put us...
Guatemalans, they worship black God.
Right. They know...
Central America.
Central America.
Guatemala, Honduras.
Now, I went to Central America. In Central America, a lot of them serve this right here.
Yeah, Christian.
Right, Christians, right. Because they were taught that by the conquistadors. Judah 5:20. Come on,
Go to
man.
the Catholic Church.
Right.
They got
The Catholic Church taught them that. Right? The Pope and all that, right? Read.
The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, and there be any error in his people.
So his people is the 12 tribes of Israel. So the error is going into sin, right? Any error in his people, right?
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, and there be any error in his people, and they sin against their God.
Right.
Let us consider that there shall be any... there shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Right. He said, if there be any error in these people, guess what we're going to be able to do? We're going to be able to overcome them, right? Read the next verse for me.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
He said, if there be no iniquity, which goes into sin again, if there's no sin in the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Read.
let my Lord now pass by lest the Lord defend them.
So the Lord will defend us if we're keeping the laws of God, the commandments of God. This is why they don't teach us that. This is why they won't teach us to keep the commandments and say, do as thou want to. But the Bible clearly tells you, go back to Exodus 28, it clearly tells you to remember the Sabbath day. You shall not work on that day. What else you shouldn't do on that day?
You shouldn't do anything.
No buying,
No,
right?
Nothing.
No buying, no selling.
Nothing.
None of that on the Sabbath day.
Be praying and working.
You should be praying and working or doing what we're doing right now. Out here on the seats trying to compel God's people to come in. Because that's part of the commandments, right? So give me the book of Luke 14:23. Because let me show you what we're doing right now. And I know your dad came back. Is ready to go?
Yeah.
You got a flyer, sir?
Yeah.
You got a flyer? Okay. Let me show you why we out here, right?
The book of Luke, chapter 14,
Verse 23.
verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges,
So the Lord told us to go out into the highways and the hedges. That's where we at right now, right? And do what?
and compel them
Right.
to come in.
So we're compelling you, my brother, to come in, to come back to your nationality. Come back to your true God, which is the black Messiah, right? Come back to him because Christ is coming back. Christ is coming back to do what? He's coming back to save his people, right? His people is not considering everybody. His people is considered the 12 tribes of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time. And finally, my brethren, be strong.